Greetings, everybody. This is Serpentine451 here, and welcome to another episode of Weeb Warriors, the show where we just talk about anime and all sorts of other nonsense. Joining me this week is, of course, Jordan, and actually back for another week is Jay. How's it going, guys?
What's up, guys? Long time no see. I know I've been absent for a while, but life has been happening. But I managed to catch up on everything now, so I'm back.
All right, so this means we're going to be talking about the shows that are out for summer 2018. And the shows we've picked out are Cells at Work, Master of Ragnarok, which I will refer to that show as the short title because I'm not going to say the long form of the title because that's utter nonsense. How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, Angels of Death, Her Kind of Receive, and
carryover.
Our carryover is My Hero Academia.
Yep.
And as per tradition to other bits of nonsense, with some of the shows, some of us may have a bit more to say about it edgewise because some of us haven't watched everything due to a lot of other life circumstances or deciding to actually wake up at a time where you can't watch everything. Like the utter garbage that my body decides to wake up at certain times. This is what happens when you work graveyard.
Yep, it's like that sometimes.
Yep, that's just how life is, man.
But anyway, so what show shall we start with?
Let's go ahead and start with Cells at Work, the anime that you never thought that you needed in your life.
Yeah, so biology, the anime, as I like to call it.
And the show that I haven't watched completely.
Well, you, sir, are failing. Because let me go.
I was going to say, as the resident biologist, I feel like this should be the show Jordan takes over for. Since, you are an actual biologist.
Yes, allow me to educate you fucks. Cells at Work is possibly the greatest anime to grace the planet in recent years, right behind instant classics like Megalobox and similar shows. But the important thing to realize is that what Cells at Work is about is that they have personified all of the cells within your body and the bodily functions, and each episode deals with some trauma or common event that your body deals with in a rather mundane fashion, but is dramatized for epic effect.
Yeah, so think of like a more epic version of Osmosis Jones or Ozzy and Drix for those of you who were born in like the 90s and early 2000s. Do you remember that like movie and short-lived kids WB TV show? It's a lot like that, but epic, like an epic version, like that's more in the anime style.
So yeah, so that's definitely that's the basic concept, and it's simply great. I love all the characters, especially the white blood cells. The entire immune system.
White blood cell is a G. I just love that his catchphrase is just "Shine!" Like, yes, die, germ, die. Like,
all the white blood cells are absolutely insane. And then this latest episode, okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves. So in the first episode, we get introduced to, I would assume, one of the main characters, Red Blood Cell, or one of the hundreds of thousands of red blood cells, who ends up becoming like the unwitting victim of pneumococcus, which is a type of bacteria that infects the body. And it has to be saved by the white blood cell. And for an anime that has such like cutesy drawn characters and all this like fantastical world and the platelets. Oh my God, the platelets.
Oh yes, the Moe platelets. yes. We gotta talk about it. We'll get that in episode 2.
I expect this not to be as violent as it actually is, but we're talking. Some full on, who am I trying to think of? One Punch Man levels of blood and carnage.
Okay, so I want to ask you a question, Jordan. As a biologist, can you explain this to me? how is there blood within a blood? Like, how do the monsters actually like bleed? Does that mean the monsters have their own immune system or whatever?
Jeremy, it's
like
just a dramatization.
I understand that, but like
if you had to guess, because they're bacteria, it's probably their cytoplasm that's leaking out.
Okay,
because all cells have cytoplasm within them.
Okay, I was just kind of curious about that. I'm like, they're bleeding, but they are inside a blood vessel. I was like, how does that work?
Well, because their blood is not blood, just like
okay, yeah. Also, kind of going back to last season, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Killing Bites, because you know how Killing Bites did the whole animal facts thing in the middle of the episode. In Cells at Work, they drop a lot of biological facts, but like, this is pneumococcus, this is what pneumococcus does, and these are the diseases connected to pneumococcus. These are the functions that red blood cells do, where they travel, what exactly they what their functions are and things like that. I thought it was really cool. I like that it's like edutainment that is actually really entertaining.
It's all actually correct. That's the worst part about it. Or I guess the best part about it.
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead and continue with your summary. I just wanted to interject there a little bit.
No, I mean, that was the summary for the episode 1, really. And then in episode 2, we get to see, what was it again? The wound. Yes. Wound closure.
Yeah, so really? So like essentially the person whose body is personified as a city scrapes their knee, and so a wound opens up, and a bunch of the bacteria take this as their opportunity to invade, and so a whole force of white blood cells are just there trying to hold the line, hold things together, and then in come the platelets, and these little moe platelets are just the cutest thing in the entire freaking world, and they just like come together and then they form the blood clot, and it's great. It's great. Loved it.
There was literally nothing that my heart could not stand the cuteness.
Oh man, so good. And I love that like at the end they ended up like the comedic moment where like the white blood cells and all the red blood cells are like forced into the little sticky net, and so everybody's all stuck together. that was gold.
When in doubt, take the blood cells and abuse them.
That was gold, just pure gold.
So yeah, so that was simply amazing. And then in episode 3 we see influenza, which influenza was not here for the bullshit. We're talking full on zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, that was some pretty crazy shit. Really? Oh yeah, no, he's not kidding. Cause like nowadays, now that we have like antibiotics and stuff, like we don't really think of influenza as a huge thing, but influenza was like a big like problem back in like the 1800s and earlier on.
Well, 2 corrections. 1, antibiotics aren't going to save you from influenza. Influenza is a virus. And 2, influenza is still a major concern. It kills thousands of people each year, but you typically only see them within vulnerable populations, being the very young or the very old. But influenza A has come wreck shit, which we see towards the end. Yeah, no, it's just amazing. Honestly.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I did not expect to like this as much as I did, because I was like, this seems like a pretty basic premise, and then I just see white blood cells like cutting through fucking bacterium and viruses, just like, okay, yeah, all right, I'm on board.
Yeah, I was honestly very, very, very skeptical of the entire anime. I was like, who asked for this? Who wants to see this? And then I watched it was the platelets that got me. It was the platelets.
Yep. No, I agree.
They're just too cute. They're just too cute.
All right. So
So yeah,
yeah, so that's
Cells at
pretty
Work
much Cells
definitely
at
gets my
Work.
recommendation. I wouldn't put it at the top of the list for this season. It's actually really hard to say which one is the best this season, but we can continue to talk about them, sort of discuss what's going on. Tony, you which one you want to do next?
Well, let's talk about the. You know what? Let's go with My Hero Academia.
Okay.
All right. Cool. So this, I guess I'll handle this one. This week's episode, well, this last week's episode was episode 53, aka season 3, episode 14, The Test, which officially kicks off the provisional license exam arc. And you know, as a manga reader, I can already tell you guys, like, I know I hyped up the training camp, but this is what I really was hyping up because let me tell you,
someone who's actually reading the manga, like, to kind of get an idea of what this arc entails, and this is nonsense.
This makes the sports festival arc like it overshadows the sports festival. Y'all thought the sports festival was cool with the cavalry battle and the tournament. Y'all ain't seen shit. The provisional license exam is a whole nother level. Like, you get to see some really cool quirks from the kids from the other academies and different things like that. And a lot of these supporting characters, which is one of the best things I love about My Hero Academia, because unlike a lot of other shonen that have huge casts, My Hero Academia actually lets a lot of the smaller characters shine. And this is the best arc where a lot of the smaller characters shine. Like, especially, like, just to point out a few, Kirishima, Toru, Bakugo, even Uraraka gets to show off that she's actually learned something from her internship and all the different training she's done. So it's not just Izuku and Todoroki who are usually the two main characters that get to shine like in this arc.
Yeah, and especially with this episode, we're introduced to the other schools, the rival school to UA, which is
Shiketsu High. Yeah, Shiketsu High has, honestly, I love their uniforms. Like, they're super JoJo, and I'm like,
yeah, super JoJo, but they're very militaristic.
Yeah,
down to the hat.
I really like the Shiketsu kids. They have some very powerful people like coming up, especially the big guy. Yeah, the big guy Inasa, who was actually going to be part of UA. Like, he actually took the UA entrance exam with Deku and the rest of the class, and he scored higher than Todoroki, but he turned down admission.
Yeah, with this guy's, because we'll see his quirk later on, but this guy's quirk is fucking strong.
Oh yeah, it's just in terms of raw power, he is insane.
Like, you just don't do that by happenstance.
Oh, and he pretty much, in his backstory with Todoroki and Endeavor, we'll see that too. It's beyond perfect. It is.
It's just prepare for some good stuff. Also, for you shippers out there, because you know I always have to be the one that's in the shipping corner. You know, we get to see if you guys if anyone out there ships Razorhead and Present Mike, there's somebody that's competition there because Miss Joke shows up in this episode, and she is probably one of my favorite pro heroes. Her quirk basically causes her targets to spontaneously burst into laughter, and so she uses that opportunity to punch them in the face. So yeah, she's really fun. She has a big crush on Eraserhead, and she's like just constantly trying to flirt with him. It's great. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's her whole deal to get this guy to laugh, but he deactivates her quirk right as she's using it. It is the most amusing goddamn thing on the planet, and his remarks to her are even as hilarious as that.
Yep.
And plus,
I really enjoy
her
it.
students, because she's a teacher at a different school.
Yep.
Her students are all second-year students, and the one that primarily gets the focus is Shinta, I think is his name.
Yeah, Yoshinta, and yeah, that guy. He's you'll see his quirk plays a big part in disrupting UA strategy in the provisional license exam, and he's probably easily in the top 10 strongest students like in the series.
Yeah, if Inasa and Todoroki and Deku were any indication of how fucking strong most of these kids are.
But man, that guy is pretty freaking ridiculous. It's gonna be nuts, guys. Like, I know we're hyping it up a lot, but I honestly think it is definitely worth it. And read the manga because it's great, and I'm like, there's so much really good character development in the manga that I want to talk about, but obviously this is an anime podcast, and I can't spoil anime only.
Yeah, I know, and it's just a crying shame. Maybe we can. Well, I was thinking about doing a bit of manga reviews on my own, but it'll just be utter nonsense. But anyway, maybe we could also talk about episode 52, which is the student.
When they create their ultimate moves. Yeah, let's talk about that real quick. So yeah, that was a good episode. I really enjoyed it. This is where a few episodes back, I talked about how the fight with Muscular was going to severely impact Deku and kind of change like his character moving forward for this foreseeable future. And this is where that comes in, because Recovery Girl stated to Deku while he was in the hospital, like in that time period where the Bakugo retrieval arc happened.
Actually, it wasn't Recovery Girl per se. It was also another doctor that told him essentially, if you use your arms if you punch people 3 more times using your power, you'll basically lose all
use of your arms.
Go all out. Yeah. Gotta ball out till you fall out.
And so Deku has to basically figure out how to adjust to this. And All Might tries to give him advice of like, you need to you're still trying to imitate me. You need to be, you need to try and be your own hero. And Deku still can't figure it out the whole time. So he decides to try and go to Powerlifter and Hatsume. And by the way, Hatsume is definitely also a strong contender for best girl candidate for My Hero Academia. I love Hatsume. She's just this crazy mad scientist adventure.
Oh no, Hatsume is the best girl. I don't know she is it. That's it. There's no other one. I don't care who you talking about.
I mean, I love my quirky girls. I most certainly do, and it's always fun to see Uraraka get jealous at any.
Oh yeah, especially because
affection toward our boy Deku.
Especially because Hatsume has bigger boobs than her, so she's definitely got that bit of inferiority.
I don't know about that. I don't.
No, I mean, she specifically mentioned her boobs, so you know that's definitely a factor.
Like, if I have to if I have to compare size, I would say Uraraka's is bigger.
Y'all some pedophiles.
Fuck you.
Y'all going to hell.
Well.
All right. Anyway.
Hell is a place, and jail is a place.
Anyway, moving on. So Hatsume designs these bracers for Deku so that he can reduce damage to his arms, but he's still not figuring out like, okay, but even if the damage is reduced, what the fuck am I supposed to do if I can't really use my arms? And so when Hatsume makes this kind of weird comment to Ida when Ida's trying to like modify his costume to like increase power of his leg boosters, she goes, well, if you're running with your legs and you want to change things up a bit, why not try running with your arms? And then Deku's like, wait a minute, and if I can't punch with my hands, I can punch with my feet.
Yeah, kick him to death.
So that's when he comes up with his signature one for all full cal shoot style, which is basically his kind of like his foot focused smash techniques.
Yeah, where he got the idea of kicking people from fucking Ida. And
all that matters as an anime only watcher, if his leg gauntlets don't release literal cannonballs for him to fucking kick, I'm gonna be disappointed.
He hasn't gotten there yet, but in his gamma costume that he creates, because of course he had the alpha and beta costumes in the first 2 seasons. In his gamma costume, his boots now have spikes, so he can kick people to death with spiked boots.
Well, they're not technically spiked boots. They're basically covered in armor where it's still gonna fucking hurt. It's like getting kicked with a steel-toed boot.
Is being kicked by a superhuman not enough? That would be like Superman wearing like brass knuckles. It's just like, because my hands don't hurt enough.
Yep, I mean,
like, I don't even know, like Cyclops' laser focusing beam, who's just like, infrared lasers, they're just not doing it like they used to. Gotta kick that bitch up a notch.
Oh. But yeah, no, but Deku definitely upped it with these new with this new improvements to his costume. So yeah, that was cool.
Also, speaking of like utter like random nonsense, in episode 53, the girls decided, like, in a small respite of time where they just talk about all what happened during like after they made their ultimate moves, and like Yaoyorozu apparently hasn't made her ultimate move yet.
Yeah, she still hasn't figured out, like, hey, maybe I should summon 2 things at once instead of 1 thing at a time. But still love you, Momo. But come on now.
The Ojo-sama is not, even though she got into school by recommendation, she doesn't really think too far ahead, does she?
Yeah, I mean, she's very intelligent too. That's why I'm just like, come on, Momo, you can't think, okay, I can summon 1 thing at a time. Let me try doing 2. Like, even I came to that conclusion.
That's kind of what I thought of. Like, if I can make 1 thing, I can make 2 or 3 things. That's
what I thought. She'll get there on her own. But yeah, what Tony's talking about is what Tony's talking about is they start talking boys, basically. They fail the Bechdel test, and so because Uraraka's talking about how her heart's been a flutter lately, and of course, Mina Ashido, the resident gossip of Class 1A, is like, oh, which one is it? Is it Deku or is it Ida? Those are the 2 boys you hang out with all the time. And so, like, she starts floating, getting all nervous, and then she looks out the window. She sees Deku training with his shirt off. And then it's just like, then the music gets all dramatic. She gets all blushy. The background turns pink. And just like,
it becomes a scene straight out of a shoujo manga. That's pretty much what happens. But Deku's shirt is on. Jay's just exaggerating shit like he normally does.
Hey man, I'm just saying they could have did that for emphasis, because she was picturing him with a shirt off.
Why are y'all such pedophiles? Why do y'all want shirtless little boys now? What is wrong with you?
It's not me doing it. It's fucking Jay's fault.
Look, shut up.
Like, his shirt was on. Jay is the one pervert here.
I was just trying to give the viewers the perspective of Ochako here. Okay.
Why are you trying to be in the mindset of a 16-year-old girl, Jay?
It's a more accurate. It's a more accurate. You know what? We're gonna move on. Fuck it. Yes. You guys are just gonna back me into a corner and then put me on like some kind of NAMBLA list.
Well, to be fair,
I'm not here recruiting for them. Y'all did this all by your lonesome without me having to say or do anything.
Well, these are the facts. But anyway, on to the point we're trying to make here.
Oh yeah, and Bakugo. This is where Bakugo creates his armor-piercing shot, which is freaking awesome. Bakugo continues to be just a G.
Yeah, and he gets like
oh yeah, no, he's always going to be a dick, but he's still you have to admit he's pretty badass.
Yeah, and he's going to be put through the ringer with this arc in particular. It's going to shoot his ego extremely.
Oh yeah, him and Todoroki. Like, this is a huge kind of like game changer. Even with Sports Festival was a big personality changer for Todoroki. he hasn't fully learned his lesson from the sports festival, and this will really set it home.
Yep, and Bakugo's even gonna get more humble pie than he normally gets.
Good. Bakugo need to get that ass slapped around some.
I mean, he's got his buddy Kirishima there to watch his back, so
and also,
nah, Kirishima need to carry him to the hospital after he get his ass whooped. I can't stand Bakugo.
Oh, and fucking Kaminari gets his moment to shine too in this arc.
Oh yeah, Kaminari in episode 53 or also
53.
Yeah, he gets his costume modified. So I'm not gonna spoil what it is, but it makes him a lot less useless because
Kaminari is one of the more useless students using his quirk.
Yeah, so his addition to his costume allow him to have more focus instead of doing the big ass indiscriminate shot. And now I'm a dumbass. So that's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
I like the additions to Kaminari's costume.
Definitely. And now let's move on to, well, we have two isekai shows, Master of Ragnarok and How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. Which one should we talk about first, since we've watched all 3 episodes of How Not to Summon a Demon Lord? Let's just go with that.
Okay.
I would just say, yeah. All right, cool.
So I was first introduced to How Not to Summon a Demon Lord when I read the manga, easily a year or 2 ago. I haven't been keeping up, but it's great. Basic premise is that it's an isekai anime where a guy has been summoned to a new world where he assumes the role of his MMORPG character, who just so happens to be the demon lord of that game.
Yep.
And in this new world, he's the demon lord, and he's absurdly more powerful than everyone else in the world.
Just to give you an idea, everybody else in this current world he's in is like level 30, and he is level 150.
Yeah,
so,
like the strongest person demonstrated to date in episode 3 is the superhuman warrior, whose name eludes me, but the ally of all women.
It's Emil.
Yeah. And he's level 40.
50.
Well, that's not technically true. There are people higher than level 40, but their level is not
level 50
definitively.
He's level 50.
Yes. Well, 40, 50. It's the same beast. Too weak. Way too weak. Not even close to being strong.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's strong for their world.
Yeah.
Definitely. But episode 1, where we're introduced to kind of Diablo and then the 2 girls that summoned his crazy ass, or his crazy powerful ass, Rem and Shira?
I want to say it's Shira?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, as I affectionately call the 2 of them, Flat-Chested Kitty Girl and Big Booby Elf.
I just call them Hello Kitty and Lady Legolas, but whatever.
I don't call them anything. Y'all need Jesus. Get your shit together.
Well, as a pagan, I don't really believe in Jesus.
Well, get your Aphrodite together. I don't know what the fuck you want me to tell you, Tony. Pick a god, get that, tell him to call on him, and tell him to help you get your shit together.
I've done that a few times, and it hasn't really helped.
Call on Bullshiticus then.
Call on Bullshiticus. Bullshiticus. That's hilarious.
But anyway, what can we say about episode 1 about How Not to Summon a Demon Lord?
Well, there's some really weird, like, almost kind of rapey scenes. Oh, what was that episode 2 where he pins down the cat girl and starts like caressing her ears?
Why do you want to start there, Jeremy? Why do you want to start there?
Why would you want to start there?
Well, that's the first thing that jumped out to me in the first episode was like, hold on.
You didn't
wait a second.
Talk about the fact that the cat girl has damn, why can't I think of her name? Either way, that she has a damn demon soul in her, and that there's an
It's a
entire
hereditary
relationship
thing.
between her and the mage organization.
Yeah,
And
she has
the fact that Diablo develops a very powerful enemy in the mage organization.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one.
Orchestrates his attempted death and the fucking elf ambush in the forest. None of that. No,
Yeah.
you want to jump
None
to
of that shit actually comes to mind for you, Jay. It's the fucking poor Rem, the cat girl, by the way. That's the cat girl. She gets it. You point out the almost rape scene. That's
Listen,
what.
man. That look. All right. That was the first thing that came to mind. Because like
the first thing that came to my mind is that Shara is the fucking elf princess trying to be an adventurer. That's what we learned in episode 2.
Yeah, I mean,
Jeremy's trying to redeem himself, and it's not.
Look, man. Yeah, obviously I'm not gonna redeem myself this episode. But anyway, I think it's cool. I think but going back to Shira and Rem, I like their dynamic because Rem is clearly the more experienced one. She's higher level, like Jordan said. She has the relationship with the mage organization, and she has basically the final boss of the game sealed within her. So that's pretty interesting. And
then Shira,
she kind of has this like Naruto complex where like nobody wants to interact with her or be involved with her because she has the demon in her.
Well, nobody knows.
Yeah, then she gets fucking happy when Diablo says, "Hey, I don't care. I'm gonna kill that demon within your soul myself, and I'm gonna free."
Also, the funniest thing about Diablo is the contrast, right? So he's this shut-in, neat otaku, and he like his inner thoughts are just him panicking, but like when he talks, he has this like deep voice bravado type of like thing going on, and he actually pulls it off, and it's hilarious just to hear him talk, like his outer voice versus his inner voice. Like when he when he wakes up for the first time after after the whole ordeal on the first day, he wakes up in bed with both the girls, and he's just like, "Wait, what is going on? What is this sensation?" And they're just like, "Well, I'm feeling titties for the first time." Okay.
What happened to your video? How long has that been out?
I turned off the camera to save battery on my phone.
Oh, that makes sense. That's kind of what I thought. Oh, anyway. Let's go. And then learning about like some of the inner workings, like the Mage Association guy trying to like fucking murder Diablo because he was pretty much bitch slapped.
I love that he summons the most powerful summon in the game, but because he's only level 40, and because Diablo is armed with an artifact that like basically makes magic useless against him, that guy ain't shit. So
technically, Salamander isn't the strongest in the game. He's just very strong.
Yeah, and that thing got fucking KO'd by a fucking Konosuba reference.
Right? Yo, when he said that, I was like, well, yo, where's Megumin at? Explosion!
Yeah, the Megumin's explosion and this explosion are on 2 whole different levels.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Good shit, though.
But then you have fucking elves being assholes saying, "You kidnapped our princess. You're gonna fucking die."
I mean, to be fair, he does awfully look like a slave trader when he has 2 women walking around with him with collars around their neck.
I mean, true, but it's their own damn fault trying to imprison him with an enslavement.
Just playing devil advocate for the elf, because elf is a lot of times the race I go for in RPGs. It does look awfully suspicious that he's got the elf princess in tow, and she's got a collar around her neck, and it's not like they were given the information that, oh, the elf princess and the cat girl tried to summon him, and it backfired.
And then fucking Emil getting the idea, like, I must rescue these women from this awful demon lord. Which, by the way, Diablo decided to take on monsters that are pretty much like mini bosses on his own, and he has to fight 100 of these motherfuckers.
Yep. But he's
That
a
happens
boss,
in
man.
episode 3, by the way. Yeah, it's pure utter nonsense. And then he fights. Well, we're introduced to a race called the Fallen, which I'm guessing are the true demons of this world. And
Jordan, you've read the manga. What are they? Did they ever elaborate from how far you've read?
Of what? Of the Fallen?
yeah.
They're demons.
They're
Okay.
just demons? Okay.
The demons are considered a race. The Fallen are sort of like followers of the Demon Lord, so slightly different. More powerful in general. But yeah, you could essentially just imagine them as such.
Alrighty.
Okay, cool.
So the episode 3 ends with him beginning to fight the commander of the 100 fallen monsters that are in tow at this bridge, and her name is Edelgard. And I find it extremely amusing for me because, as someone who plays games in the Fire Emblem series, one of the main lords in Fire Emblem Three Houses is named Edelgard.
Nice.
It just amuses me greatly.
But yeah, I'm very interested to see how this harem builds and like the different relationships and dynamics Diablo builds along the way.
I mean, I wouldn't say, well, how to put it. I haven't read the manga too terribly far, so I know that there are more women that join this harem. I just don't know into what capacity and in what fashion. So it'll be a journey for all of us if we even get to that point. I think it's a 12-episode season. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
it might not be that. It might not be that far.
Yeah. And then let's go with the other isekai anime, Master of Ragnarok and Blessor of Inajar?
Einherjar.
Einherjar. Okay.
I'll leave this to y'all because I have not seen this yet.
Well, so it's definitely an interesting and maybe slightly confusing isekai anime, depending on how you approach it. This anime subverts a lot of tropes by simply opening with our main character having already been in the new world for 2 years and having already established himself as the ruler of the Wolf clan. And where this can be confusing is because the show itself ends up calling on relationships that have been built in the past, and the viewer essentially has to build back an understanding of events as they watch the series. Yeah. So, for example, the main character has a relationship with the blacksmith, whose name, none of their names I know. Another thing to read, Master of Ragnarok is okay. It's not amazing. I don't know any of their names. I haven't dedicated a single one of them to memory.
Well, I remembered at least a few. Like our main character's name is Yuto, and then you have Felicia, who is the blonde-haired, big-titted one, and then you have Sigrun, who is the one with the katana, which we see her fight a patriarch of another clan and killed that fucker. And then we have Vienna, who is another patriarch. And episode 3 introduces 2 other characters that I only got the name of one, which I'm not even sure. They kind of disturb me, to be honest.
Oh, the 2 girls?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just unsaw that, honestly.
You unsaw that? Okay.
Yeah, Jeremy, you would have to have seen the scene. It's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right.
And actually, that's another thing about this anime. The anime is very uncomfortable, given the essentially the way that things are fashioned. Long story short, instead of having loyal servants or even sworn blood brothers or men-at-arms, they have this weird familial system where the patriarch or matriarch is the elder sibling, and those closest to him are his brothers and sisters, and then those beneath him are his children.
Yeah.
So people call him father or big brother.
Or he has to, with some of the elder members of the clan, they should refer to him. Oh, Yuto, for example, two characters in episode 2 asked him to refer to them as his uncles.
Yes,
they were
because they are the brothers of his predecessor.
Okay.
Yeah, the dynamic, like the
this all sounds really confusing.
Yeah,
not necessarily. So the patriarch is the head of the clan, and those closest to him become his brothers and sisters. If he dies and his brothers and sisters survive, the new patriarch refers to those people as his aunts and uncles because they're more senior to him. Just as you would refer to your father's brothers and sisters as your aunts and uncles. The people, and then the same logic, and then those beneath him in the rest of the hierarchy are called as children. But it's weird because he keeps developing these like pseudo-sexual romantic relationships with these people. You know, they're bathing him and whatnot, pressing their bodies up against him, and they're calling him big brother and father and shit. And it's just like, this is uncomfortable.
Yeah, definitely.
That sounds really uncomfortable. Okay.
Yeah, it's a special brand of nonsense. And then just getting introduced to more of the shenaniganery that is this show. To be fair, the one thing I can say is that episode 2 basically gives us more of an introduction to another clan's kind of strife, which is, what was the name of this clan that our main character saved again?
Horse Clan.
Oh, right.
He saved the Horse Clan. Well, he defeated the Horse Clan, and then the Horse Clan was attacked by the Horn Clan. And so he saved the Horse Clan because they had just entered into a coven with each other, and he took their matriarch and made it his little sister. And now they're under attack by the Lion Clan, I think. Or they have trouble with the
Clan. Yeah,
the Lightning Clan.
Yeah, we were introduced to a motherfucker that wields a hammer, and
he's dead. That's the Horn Clan. I'm talking about the new guy.
Yeah, the new guy's from the Lightning Clan.
Yeah, the Lightning Clan were the ones that killed the previous patriarch.
Yeah, and he, in the opening, wields a hammer.
Oh, shit, I unsaw that entirely.
Yeah, well...
I don't watch openings, in fact.
That much is true. But he basically comes in after the victory ceremony and just decides to try to intimidate people.
He's not trying to do anything.
Well, to be fair, I like to watch my anime with sound. And trying to pay attention and trying to keep a show together is just utter nonsense.
Well, no one told you to watch anime with sound. But yeah, no, my dude is definitely an Einherjar, which... so this show is a weird mixture of like Arabian pseudo-culture and Norse mythology. So Einherjar are like superhumans that have some degree of power.
They're the ones they're the soldiers of Valhalla, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that much.
Yeah, and Valhalla gets a name drop in episode 2 when Sigrun actually kills the patriarch of the clan that took over. I think it's the Horse Clan. It was the Horn Clan that our main character defeated, and then took into its own clan by kind of assimilating the matriarch of that clan, and then the Hoof Clan deciding to like, hey, I'm going to invade now. And I enjoyed your comment before we started, and we were watching the same episode, Jordan, and it's like, oh no, yeah, you definitely gotta run because this man's a monster.
Yeah, my dude was huge.
But it was really hilarious just to kind of see and just hear comments of someone else watching anime, because I don't know what it feels like for everyone else, but it just amuses me because I like to talk while I'm watching something.
Jordan and I do that shit all the time. Whenever we would watch it together, we'd be running the same fucking commentary of just like, oh, you bitches are done. Nope, y'all all the way fucked.
Yeah, because I like to espouse nonsense while I'm watching something. I kind of inherited that from my grandmother, whom I have disowned, and I'm glad it's dead and rotting in hell.
Wait,
all right.
wait.
Okay, you turned all the way left.
Wait.
You turned all the way left.
Jesus.
We were talking about anime, and all of a sudden we just like swerved all the way into uncomfortable.
It has a backstory to it, and
well, let's save this
yeah, okay. Like me being perverted towards anime characters, at least that has to do with anime. Let's keep it on subject. Let's keep it on subject.
Well, that is cynically on subject because my grandmother would yell at the TV while she's watching wrestling, and I pretty much inherited the same thing while I'm watching like either anime or whatever I'm watching at that moment in time. It's like I'm talking to the TV. That's essentially what I was trying to make here.
Oh, okay.
All right, Tony. All right.
So yeah, the patriarchs and such definitely shaping up to be pretty interesting. Trying to figure out what it means to be a twin-runed Einherjar versus a regular Einherjar, and where their power comes from. Because it seems to be that it has to be something you are hereditarily, not something that you can become. Or at least, if you can become it, I'm not totally sure what mechanism that is. Thus far, it has not been revealed.
Yeah, and also the how to become a patriarch of a clan is basically killing the patriarch of that clan, and then it's just ruling. But the concept of a hereditary patriarch is a very rare one in this world. As the matriarch of the Horn clan explains, her name is Leena.
Something of that nature.
Yeah, just some L name. She explains that she was basically the heir to the former patriarch of the Horn clan, and her father named her his heir, which is a very rare thing for clans to do. And most of the other members of the clan were like, "Why did he do this? Even though I know he loved his daughter so much, but why did he make her his heir instead of just letting some other dude rule the clan instead?" But anyway, I think that's all we can say about this show. It's shaping up pretty well. I mean, other than the uncomfortable things about it, it looks like to be a pretty average show. I mean, its approach is different from other isekai shows, so at least it's going to be, if it's not middle of the road, it might be just good. Not great, but okay.
All right. I'll definitely check it out for next time.
All right.
It's definitely middle of the road type of anime. Not awful, not amazing. I don't think it's going to go down as the shittiest thing you've ever watched, but it's going, so far, it's shaping up to be rather forgettable.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, it seems like it's kind of a forgettable anime, but that's all right. You get one or two of those every season, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely starting to pad things out.
Yep, something to just put on TV screens. Not to say that the people who actually work on any of these shows, like this show in particular, is not putting all the work and effort that it takes to actually make an anime or any sort of television program. We're not talking down like the staff behind the show. Far from it.
No, I think that the production quality is fine. It's simply just a rather generic premise. It's
Very
not
So,
necessarily
which
poorly
one do you?
executed. It's just I feel like there's just isekai is just a very saturated uh,
Yeah, I
genre
would.
at this
I would
point, and
definitely say
really
so.
break the mold to be interesting. I say that, but then I read like every bloody cultivator manhwa that comes out of China. So I guess it's just different people's cups of tea, right? Like anytime I see the word cultivator, I'm just like, yep, let's watch it.
But yeah, which one do you guys want to do next? Haruka Received or Angels of Death?
I
Well,
can
you're
talk
gonna have
about Angel of Death. I could not talk about Harukana Receive because I haven't watched a single episode.
Okay, so I'm the only one who's seen Haruka Received. I guess I can quickly talk about Haruka Received.
I mean, I
So
watched partway into episode 1, but due to technical difficulties and me getting frustrated at it, I decided not to watch it.
all right, so I'm gonna be straight up here, you guys, since tonight is clearly the night where I expose myself as a pervert. At first, I was just watching.
Tonight is the night.
I think at some point in time, we've all exposed ourselves as some form of pervert.
But anyway, my point being, at first, I was watching the Haruka Received. I was like, oh, ass and titties, nice. And by the way, if we're giving out awards, Haruka Received definitely gets best jiggle physics of the season because, like, the jiggle physics for this show is totally on point.
Are these also children?
No, they are 18. I checked. They are seniors in high school. It is fine. Although, like, one of them is a lolly. I don't count her. She's not what I'm looking at. So anyway, the premise, this is a sports anime, and the sport we're focusing on is beach volleyball. And our main character's name is Haruka, and she moves into this small town. I forget which island of Japan it is. She moves into this small town with her cousin. And her cousin is this, her cousin used to be a very good beach volleyball player, but then we find out that she no longer plays because her partner basically left and partnered up with a new girl and has now become a state champ, like has become a renowned champion in Kyoto, but she's back for the summer, and they kind of use beach volleyball partnership as kind of a metaphor for relationships because like the other girl whose name escapes me right now, the blonde chick, she says that she keeps referring to Kanata, Haruka's cousin, as Narumi's ex. They keep calling each other exes, and they use a lot of relationship terminology to refer to each other, despite them only being beach volleyball partners. There are a lot of Yuri undertones here, so this is actually a sports anime with Yuri in it, unlike Yuri on Ice, which lied to me.
No one told you it had Yuri in it.
It was in the title. It was in the title. I assume.
You're right. The man's name is Yuri. It is correct. It is him on ice.
Named Yuri.
Did not know that. Watched the episode, and I was just like, all right. But whatever. Moving on.
Watch the whole anime for someone that's complaining.
That is true.
The skate animations are so cool, okay? The skate animations are really cool. I'm not getting to this argument again. Anyway.
It's okay, Jeremy. You like yaoi. Just admit it. Just accept that to yourself. Living your own truth, Jeremy. Living your own truth.
So I like this anime a lot. Because I've always been a fan of sports anime, and I like the dynamic that Katana and Haruka have developed. With Katana like coaching Haruka, trying to figure out how to play beach volleyball because she's used to playing regular volleyball, but she's not used to the dynamics of beach volleyball because you're running on sand. The positioning is different, and she's used to just kind of being aggressive and like spiking and things like that. Whereas beach volleyball, it seems like, granted, I don't do sports, so I'm not sure if this is accurate, but it seems like beach volleyball is more strategic and more about placement and strike timing than actually just kind of quick response and striking with regular volleyball is. But so her and Katana end up going against Narumi and the blonde chick. They end up getting their ass beat the first time, and then they challenge them to a rematch, and they almost win, but they do manage to catch Narumi off guard and score the point, winning the match for themselves the second time. However, Narumi is really thrown off guard because for the first time ever, Katana actually receives the ball instead of spiking it. And when they used to play together, Katana apparently tried to receive, but was afraid and kind of ran away from the ball. And so Narumi got this kind of weird jealous feeling of like, what makes it so, what's so different about that girl that she was able to get Katana to do what I couldn't get her to do, which in my opinion felt really weird and uncomfortable because I'm like, dude, why are you treating Haruka like she's some new girl when that's clearly her cousin? Nothing's happening between them. So let's not bring that in there.
You ain't do all these things and we were together. Why are you trying all this new stuff?
Exactly. That's why, like, that's the vibe she was putting off, and I'm like, dude, that's her cousin. Calm down. They are blood related. Let's not do this. We're not making it this kind of anime.
Never happened in an anime.
I don't want it to be this kind of anime. Okay, I don't want them to go there. I really don't. And if it happens, all right, I'm going to just have to bite my tongue and be like, I'm really uncomfortable, but whatever.
I'm about to say, Jeremy, you make it seem as though you would actually stop watching it if it did take that turn, but we'll move it on.
But yeah, no, I think it's a really good sports anime, and plus, you know, it's summertime. You got to have something with good bikini shots and, you know, a good TNA ratio. I mean, how not to summon the Demon Lord is pretty good with that, but, you know, just a little something extra. So if you like sports anime, you like ass, you like titties, definitely the show for you.
All right, then. So let's get into our last show that we chose is Angels of Death. Now, Jay, you suggested that we watch this show because you watched the first episode and said,
this show is freaking crazy, man. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just a weird psychological thriller death game.
It's Danganronpa with more murder and less fuckery.
It's less courtroom drama, more like, oh, we're actually playing a death game. All right, bet.
It's like a straight up slasher flick, and I fucking love it. It's crazy.
And the interesting thing about this anime is that all of the characters' names are very Western names.
Yeah, Rachel, David, I don't remember the other guy.
Isaac and Eddie that we've come across in episode 3.
Yeah, Isaac and Eddie. Those are the other two.
So, like, the whole premise of this show is focusing on our protagonist, Rachel, who is a girl that wants to die, and she's trapped in this building with multiple floors. And at first, she was kind of lively when we introduced her in the first episode, and then after her encounter with David, the creepy doctor dude,
David with the weird eye fetish. Like, I was like, all right, I guess everybody has their thing, but that's just weird.
Yeah, so after her encounter with him and then being introduced to Isaac, or Zach as he likes to refer to himself, she basically loses all life in her eyes and her tone of voice, saying for Zach to pretty much end her life when they get out of this building.
Yeah, and Zach is just a total nut bar. Like, he's just, I want to kill. Like, just point me in the direction, I'm going to slash some hoes. Like, he ain't fucking around.
I mean, that is why they brought him to that building. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, you want to kill stuff? Well, if you come with us, we'll let you kill stuff. And it's just like, sign me up, motherfuckers.
Right? Yeah. Fair enough. Good point.
And a lot of things, there's a lot of interesting imagery. I wonder, at least to me anyway, is that could it be that they aren't technically alive, but
That
they're...
this is purgatory? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. This has to be some kind of purgatory. I definitely get a lot of Divine Comedy imagery with like the elevator and the different things like that.
And the floors look more like they're going down into a basement rather than going up to the main floor.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's
Well, they
definitely...
are basement levels. They're literally all basement levels, regardless.
I know that, but the point I'm trying to make here is that they're not going up, they're going down.
Eh?
Yeah, they're not traveling up the elevator, but they're going down the elevator. Oh, going up, down. Fuck, I don't make sense anymore.
I realized I was just like, the elevator is clearly moving upward in the scenes where she gets into an elevator.
I thought they were moving downward. Fuck, my brain is just filling with nonsense.
I want you guys to take a shot every time Tony has said the word nonsense tonight and get completely, like, just sloshed. Because this is at least the 8th time he said the word nonsense.
Yeah, no, I would be completely slashed. I don't know why I'm using all these odd terminologies. I'd be fucked up.
All the way fucked up. Just,
I mean, I like using the word.
I'm just something just something I've noticed tonight. But anyway,
It's definitely
I've
part of the
heard
day.
a lot lately, so well, I have to deal with a lot of bullshit.
but yeah, this show is pretty wild. It's basically a grindhouse anime, and I'm down. I'm down.
Yeah, and you have your typical slasher gimmick with episode 3's introduction of the character of Eddie Mason. Like, we have the killer in a mask, which kind of looks like...
Yeah, I thought that I was like, you guys think you're slick naming him Eddie Mason? I'm like, you could have just named him Jason and been like, just not even trying to hide it. You should just said Jason and been fine. Tokyo Ghoul named their dude in the hockey mask Jason, so you'll be okay.
Hey man, Jason was out here fucking up people in Tokyo Ghoul, but I think that I think it's fine.
Yeah, no, I thought it was pretty cool. Like I said, I like the whole slasher type of thing, and like this isn't a show where like I'm expecting. I think it's gonna try and touch on some deep philosophical stuff, but honestly, I'm not looking past service level in this case here. I just want to see some cool Sakuga like action scenes. I need at least one of these every season.
Well, for me personally, since it's more tinging on horror elements, I just want to see how gruesome they can actually get away with in the show. And someone who actually has a great appreciation for the horror genre, I actually want to see how, like, the amount of kills that they can actually get away with. Like, how Eddie dies in episode 3. He basically gets sliced by Zack with Zack's scythe, and he falls into a petal, like a grave full of flowers, and then has a gravestone just slammed on top of him.
I'm sorry, but no anime can outdo absurd kills more than fucking King's Game. King's Game had some absurd ass deaths. Bro, there was a girl that was on fire, still typing on her laptop.
Yeah.
This bitch was still typing. Like, yo.
Game had no fuck all that, Jeremy. It's just like when their bodies just broke down. I was like, what?
No, I still want to know what the purpose of that shit with the condom was. It was
Condom?
No, you didn't. I think that was like in one of the later episodes, but like, yeah, crazy bitch. Like, she uses a condom in one of her kills. It's weird.
All right,
Maybe
then.
she had to have sex with that dude to survive. That was her condition. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. And then she used the condom to kill him, and it was weird.
Huh.
I
yeah,
unsaw
no.
that apparently. I don't remember none of that.
Yeah, like I said, like as like I don't think any anime after seeing King's Game, I don't think any anime can outdo absurd, over the top death.
Although,
Like on that level.
with this show in particular, I don't think that they ultimately stayed dead. At least that's what I think, anyway.
Oh,
Well,
you
I mean,
think there's
you
like
saw the graves. You think they're false?
so you think there's like a respawn function here or something?
That's kind of what I'm thinking, like, tying it towards our, kind of my theory that it's more of a purgatory, like a place for the dead to reside. I think when they get killed, they don't technically stay dead.
Okay, so
Killed,
this is kind
but not alive.
okay, so their punishment is to just repeatedly die.
And that the whole notion of them, and because think of it like this, they know each other by name, so that kind of draws to the conclusion that they've seen each other before, and they've tried killing each other in the past, and then at some point they like Zach and David have a conversation like, how do you know my name, how do you remember my name when I haven't met you before? Essentially, so it's like
Well, one of them was he was stealing information about the others. He was gathering it in his archives.
Yeah, David, I think.
Yeah, but
yeah,
the whole point I'm trying to make, David said Zach's name too, though. So that's kind of the theory that they're perpetually living lives in a repeated cycle.
But wouldn't they know that?
Not necessarily. Like, if they reset from the jump.
I mean, like, if they reset, then how would they know the names? Like, you get what I'm getting at here? Like, there's a hole in this logic.
Like, I'm trying to piece things together myself, because I'm under the impression that they don't necessarily stay dead when they get killed, going under, like, slasher movie logic.
I mean, I hear you. I'm just saying, if that's the case, then why do they regain the memories? Like, why forget everything but the names of people?
That I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out as the show goes on.
Yeah, definitely. I think part of it's definitely going to be piecing together the mystery of like what exactly this place is.
Although the next character we're going to get introduced to, it has to have a kind of a prison gimmick to them.
Oh yeah, I didn't I didn't watch the preview for next week, so it's a prison dude this time.
Actually, it's a chick, because you see her in the opening and endings.
Oh, okay, cool.
But anyway, I think this show has some promise, but overall, there isn't really a show that kind of jumps out at us as like.
I would say Cells at Work. I thoroughly enjoyed Cells at Work.
It's not that I don't thoroughly enjoy Cells at Work, but I'm going to reserve putting it at the very top until I see how Overlord 3 plays out, because I'm watching it on my own time, and I'm addicted to Overlord. Overlord's amazing. So that could fine for the top spot. But of the ones that we're reviewing, probably going to be between Cells at Work and How Not to Summon the Demon Lord.
Yeah, I was going to say, How Not to Summon the Demon Lord is also pretty up there.
Yeah, okay. That perfectly works out. So for the Otaku Soapbox discussion this week, since we never really had that much, well, we didn't really set up a question to kind of ask ourselves or pick a topic. I'm kind of thinking that of an interesting one off the fly here. Since Jordan doesn't really watch openings and endings all that much, I guess we can interject like how a reason why people would be kind of turned off. Oh, never mind that. Like the question I'm trying to make here is, do you have a favorite anime opening or a favorite anime ending? If so, what is it, and the reason why you chose that one in particular?
Gravity Well by Recreators. Best anime OST opening song ever from season 1, for the simple reason that it's fucking amazing and it's great. And
Are you talking about the Recreators opening?
Bitch, what I just say?
Yeah.
Recreators opening season 1, and the reason I pick it is because my favorite character from Recreators, I like to call her Bad Bitch Mamika, is.
Are you talking about the magical girl? Yes, the magical girl is the shit.
Oh my girl, magical.
Yo,
magical flare splash, I think is the attack. Oh my
dude.
God,
Okay,
Mamika was not here for none of the bullshit. And Gravity Well is an amazing song.
I love Recreators because of the fact
and the OST.
I mean, Gravity Well is a great song, and I am very glad that you actually brought that song to my attention, Jordan.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, Recreators is one of my favorites because they don't play with the magical girl. Everybody's always, as a huge magical girl genre fan, everybody's like, oh, magical girls ain't doing shit. And it's just like, you guys don't know how these powers work. If magical girls were around in the real world, they would be fucking shit up. And what happened? Fucking shit up. I love it. As for me, I'm gonna go with a classic for this one. Anytime anyone says my favorite anime opening, I will like right off the bat. I will say this: Tank from Cowboy Bebop. That is one of the most iconic, and I will always listen to the whole thing whenever that comes up on my phone in shuffle. I freaking love Tank, the Cowboy Bebop opening. One of the best.
All right, well, I can't disagree with you there because that track is amazing. But personally for me, one of my favorite anime opening of all time, and it's actually from my favorite anime of all time, Destiny of the Shrine Maiden, its opening is, to me, very energetic because it's techno heavy, but musically it's techno heavy, but it actually has lyrics, and it's very fun lyrics. And just the opening animation for the actual that they use for the opening animation proper, since this is a Yuri show that involves fighting mechanized fighting mecha that are named after Yamato no Orochi, and the main mecha that our priestess, our shrine maiden characters have to ride in is a fucking mecha named after the Kusanagi no Tsurugi. But the opening just basically introduces the characters themselves, and it's kind of fun and energetic. And the song itself is very dynamic in its own way. And another favorite of mine, because I actually made a list of my favorite anime openings, about close to 50 of these fucking things. By now it's actually close to 100, but another favorite of mine is, what was it? Oh, it's actually the One Punch Man opening.
I love the One Punch Man opening. That's definitely up there.
And then what? But the reason why I like when musically my taste is very diverse, so I can love. It's just the rhythm, like the actual song itself, like the music, the performance of the singer. Hell, it doesn't have to have a singer in it. Like
also, just to interject, I want to definitely throw this one in there as a contender. Probably my favorite opening from the Tokyo Ghoul series is Unravel, the first opening. That is the best one. You can fight me if you say otherwise, because Unravel matches the melancholy and of Kaneki's journey and the shift it goes through, where it gets more high energy, and it shows him going white hair. I think that is just perfect. And the visuals paired with that are just great. I love Unravel. Still the best Tokyo Ghoul opening.
Well, to kind of go with that, I have two openings that I have two series that have multiple openings because one is actually a franchise, the other is from My Hero Academia. And for the Tenchi series in particular, I have two favorite openings. The original opening for Tenchimuyo Ryo-Oki, which is just a big instrumental piece, and I love that piece. But my overall favorite opening song from the Tenchi franchise is Midnight Sun, which is the opening for Tenchimuyo GXP.
Nice.
Yeah, that song always entertains me, because even though GXP is my favorite Tenchi series, its opening is by far one of my favorites out of the Tenchi franchise as a whole. It just has a very fun, energetic, like, the song has to have energy in order for me to actually enjoy it. It's not that I can't enjoy a slower and more somber song. It's just I like to have a bit of energy when I'm watching most anime.
What's the My Hero Academia one you chose?
It's the first opening for season 3, actually.
Really? I don't like that one that much. My favorite My Hero Academia
I'm gonna go ahead
opening
and talk to y'all later. It was good being on. All right. Peace.
All right, later, Jordan. Oh, where'd Tony go? Hello? Am I low? Oh, Tony walked off. Okay. Jordan left. Oh, Tony's on the phone. Okay, I'm gonna stall, I guess. And I'm just a disembodied voice, so. All right. Tony's walking off. All right then.
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm actually on the phone right now. It's just a bit of a family emergency. I'll just be right back.
All right. Jordan also left, so actually, I think that might be a good time to end.
Definitely. So join us next week when we talk about our shows that we have in this rotation. We had a good discussion for the anime openings and for anime openings. We'll do endings for our topic next week. So join us then. This has been Serpentine 451 saying have a good night, take care, and I'll see you guys next time.
All right. Peace.